Okay, so today we're talking about SCP-401. Let's get right into it. And this is the description of SCP-401. SCP-401 was discovered near the French city of Redacted when agents responded to reports of the ground bleeding. When led to the site, investigators found a human mouth embedded in the soil, licking away the remaining blood with a long tongue, a long prehensile tongue. Not sure what that is. It was not until a week later that agents realized that the mouth was part of the root structure of what at first appeared to be a 40-meter tall dead eucalyptus tree with branches shaped like multi-jointed human arms. The white color of the trunk originally suggested that the tree was dead, was found to be because the bark was made of human bone tissue. It was given SCP status and evacuated from the area to be transported to site redacted. So that's disturbing. A tree with multi-jointed human arms and made out of human bone tissue. The bark is made of human bone tissue. Oh, wow. Just ain't that great. SCP-401 resembles an ordinary tree in form and function. However, human physiology is substituted for plant biology in the fulfillment of necessary processes. The trunk is supported by multi-vertebral columns, woven together by tendons and muscles, and coated by a layer of rough bone tissue, also held together by flexible tendons. As one goes higher, the trunk will split repeatedly until there is a single vertebral column supporting the rest of the structure. At the base of the trunk are multiple human hearts, which pump blood and nutrients through the roots and branches. The roots themselves are espogagi. I'm sorry if I misread that. Protected by a layer of cartilage reminiscent of the trachea. At the end of each root is a fully formed upper and lower jaw, however, with muscles, lips, and the prehensile tongue, first witnessed by agents in the field. The tongue seemed to be used as a digging implement and as a snare for food, ranging from burrowing animals to edible fungi and plants. All of these roots ultimately lead to a single stomach. This, along with the fully functional, though unusually long, intestinal tract, works to absorb ingested nutrients. Solid waste is eliminated through a sphincter orifice on the side of the trunk. No roots are found in the area immediately beneath this point. Whoa. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of information. So it's a human with human like biology. So it's a human tree, except very disturbing. Let's keep going. The branches at initial observation suggested are human arms. They extrude themselves from the bony trunk, but have no bark themselves. Some will split at the elbow, so that they may have 2 or even 3 forearms. The palms of its hands will face upward, and the tip of each finger have a human eye growing from it. The iris of each eye is hazel. Dissection of the eyes show that they are all myopic, though they do not react to light stimuli as a normal eye would. Though the chemical process is not yet understood, the retinas carry a form of photosynthesis, which transform carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose. It is generally agreed that the eyes are myopic in order to prevent excessive damage to the retina from direct sunlight. Chemical analysis of the lungs show that there is a higher oxygen content when SCP-401 exhales. than when it inhales. Interesting. That is so weird. The eyes have the retinas carry a form of photosynthesis. That is that is very odd. So it also says that the chemical analysis of the lungs show that there's a higher oxygen content when he exhales, which means I don't know how that works, but all right. Let's keep going. During spring, SCP-401 will go into bloom. Though it is genetically a human male, it will grow female sexual organs. The vaginal openings are located on the palms of its hands, with canals extending 18 centimeters along each wrist to a bulge which contains a fully formed uterus and ovaries. 5 days after the formation of the organs, menstruation occurs, at which point male sexual organs begin to develop in their place over a period of 10 days. Once fully formed, they will remain for 1 day before they are shed and eaten by the roots. During this phase, SCP-401 will attack human females for the purpose of reproduction. Well, that makes sense why there is no female personnel at the date ranges at the beginning of the reading. That is disturbing. We can classify this SCP as a sex offender as well, I think. Let's keep going. Now we're going to go into the experiment logs. This is experiment 401-1, so the first experiment. The fact that SCP-401 is genetically human, combined with the violence exhibited against women during its male phase, suggests that it may be capable with human beings. A number of breeding experiments have been proposed to test this. The date redacted. Subject: female D-class personnel. D-2055. Procedure: D-2055 was artificially inseminated with material produced by SCP-401 during male phase. The product of this was allowed to gestate. Details: 9 months after conception, D-2055 gave birth to a normal human infant. Though healthy and lacking in any unusual physiology, the child has been found to suffer from severe myopia, which is nearsightedness, comparable to what was estimated with the eyes of SCP-401. The child has since been adopted by Agent redacted, who has agreed to bring. Oh, they gave him a name, R redacted, Jr., to a Foundation approved doctor for monthly physical examinations. That is very disturbing. Imagine knowing your dad was a tree. That is very disturbing. Another thing with the eyes, I wonder if the child has the same photosynthesis stuff that 401 can do, but that wouldn't really make sense for a human, so probably not. And I feel like that would have been listed. Let's go to the second experiment. 401-2. Date is redacted. Subject: male D-class personnel D-2067. Procedure: D-2067 was ordered to donate genetic material which was used to artificially inseminate SCP-401 at the beginning of its female phase. This was allowed to gestate. Okay, so they're doing it reverse now. They're doing it the female is now the tree. Details: 12 hours after insemination, the The uterine bulge, the uterine bulge in the wrist increased to size by 300%, while the other branches continued to develop normally. For the next 2 weeks, the intimidated arm retained its urine bulge and vaginal canal 24 hours prior to maturation of male organs. The uterine bulge began contracting until a mass of tissue was extracted from the palm. This was thrown over the edge of the courtyard by the arm which had given birth. The appendage was then shed and absorbed by the roots minutes later. After 5 hours of searching, personnel found the item which was thrown: a human urinary bladder with the fetus nestled inside, consented with consented with one that had been gestating for 2 months. The bladder was planted in soil. It germinated 2 days later and became a seedling. Equivalent to SCP-401 in structure, the organism died of malnourish 1 week later, despite being fed nutritional supplement 401-NS-3. Interesting. So this would explain why there's only one 401, because it seems like all the kids it creates are just dying. Let's go to the third experiment. This one's short. Subject: female D class personnel. Procedure: an egg was removed from D-2081's ovary, fertilized with genetic material harvested from SCP-401, and frozen until spring. The fertilized egg was implanted into SCP-401 and allowed to gestate. Details: data expunged. Nutritional supplement 401-NS-4 has been formulated with this development in mind. Okay, so what happened, they're not telling us. But a nutritional supplement was created with this. So they're feeding it fetuses, pretty much. Which is just even more disturbing the more you think about that concept. Alright, now incident 401-1. This is the only incident this SCP has had. On redacted, the date redacted, several of SCP-401's branches went into convulsion and then went limp. It was soon discovered that one of its hearts suffered from cardiac arrest and was not able to recover. An angiogram of the other hearts showed large amounts of plaque buildup. Since Incident 401-1, the damaged heart has been absorbed and 2 new hearts have grown in its place. In order to maintain the future health of SCP-401, a lower cholesterol nutritional supplement 401-NS-3 has been approved. Nutritional supplement 401-NS-4 is not to be used following the results of experiment 401-3. Is now to be used following the results of experiment 401-3. Okay, I see what's happening here. So the nutritional supplement they made on the third experiment is what they're now feeding it, because somehow that's giving lower cholesterol. Oh god. See, I never understood why they want to contain this SCP. Like, I just feel like it should be terminated. Like, what a waste of resources to keep a reproducing tree, human reproducing tree. I don't even know if that's the right way to name it. I don't really know what to call this thing, but it's definitely no use, I would say. It's almost no use at all. And going back to the the child that was created in the first experiment. Man, I want to know what happened with that more. Assuming there's no logs that came out about it, it's probably just a normal kid. But there's no way that things like that kid's normal. There's no way. There has to be something weird that happens with that. But this is all that was on the wiki for SCP-401. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And yeah, have a great day.